We all have heard of this large language model called DeepSeek Coder. This is possibly one of the best open source coding based large language models that are out there. It's an advanced large language model comprising of 67 billion parameters and its other model containing 7 billion. Now, it has been trained from scratch on a vast dataset of 2 trillion tokens. Now, the great part is that DeepSeek Coder is a model that can fully outperform Llama 2's 70 billion base model, as well as being on par with GPT 3.5. It also does quite well against Mistral, which is Mistral's new AI model. Now, why are we bringing up DeepSeek Coder once again? Well, I got some big news regarding it as they have some new tech reports that they have launched very recently, as well as a new model, which is competing with GPT-4's coding capabilities. We got some great news coming out of the Patreon page as we have a couple more subscriptions being given out this month. Now, this month we had a total of 4 different subscriptions being given out to our Patreons, and this just shows how unique and how amazing this community is. We've been focusing really hard on providing you guys with the best content as well as the best applications for free for just simply joining our Patreon page. You not only access subscriptions, but you access resources, collaboration, networking opportunities, and so much more. Definitely take a look at the Patreon link in the description below if you want to access our private Discord. Now, just take a look at the leaderboard, which shows the comparison of DeepSeek Coder versus the other models that are open source or even closed source. Firstly, take a look at this leaderboard and you'll see that there's different types of blue points on this graph. It's basically showcasing different error bars for the smaller models less than 30 billion parameters. And you can clearly see that DeepSeek Coder is surpassing every single project except GPT-4, which is the blue line over here. GPT 3.5 is the red line, and it shows that it does quite well in comparison to all of these other models, including GPT 3.5. Now, take a look at the Crux evaluation benchmark. This is leaderboard, which is showcasing how DeepSeek's Instruct model is the closest open source model to GPT-4 Turbo. This is based off of different types of coding understanding tasks, as well as various generation tasks in the coding category. And it's just absolutely amazing to see. Now, another great thing that I want to mention is that you can now also try out their newer version of their model, which is containing an additional 1.4 trillion tokens on coding data. This is the new DeepSeek Coder version 1.5 on the 7 billion parameter model size. This is quite huge as this upgrade is something that contains better capabilities in natural language programming as well as in math reasoning. Something cool to also note is that they have stated a really cool thing in their Twitter blog, and they basically just stated that a bigger and stronger coder model will be coming soon. This basically is hinting that they're working on something better, and this could potentially shock the AI world. Now, throughout today's video, I'll be showcasing this new tech report a little bit more in depth, showcasing how you can actually download this new DeepSeek Coder model, and so much more. So with that thought, guys, stay tuned, and let's get straight into the video. If you would like to book a one-on-one with me where you can access my consulting services, where I can help you grow your business or basically give you a lot of different types of solutions with AI, definitely take a look at the calendar link in the description below. Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video at the world of AI. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at DeepSeek Coder once again because of their new tech report, as well as the release of their new model, which is called the 1.5 version of DeepSeek Instruct. Now, this is an open source model that is gapping the field of software development based off of its amazing coding capabilities. You are able to see that this is a model that's trained on 2 trillion tokens in both English and Chinese. It ranges from different model size from 1.3 billion all the way to 67 billion. Now, this new model is something that is quite notable because of how they have trained it, as well as adding additional token usage. We can see in their blog post that they stated that this is a new model that is additionally inputted with 1.4 trillion tokens of coding data. This makes it more intricate and also better at generating different types of coding tasks. So this is just overall better now based off of its smaller parameter size, as well as based off of more additional tokens. Now, for the people who do not know, this DeepSeek Coder model is no ordinary coding model, as this is a really, really intricate model that is quite superior in relation to comparing it to Llama 2's 70 billion base model. We can see that this is a graph that is comparing it on various different benchmarks, whether that's coding, mathematical, reasoning, you have understanding, so many others. And you can see that there's only a very few like categories like drop. You have ARC easy as well as race middle, in which Llama 2's 70 billion base model is able to outperform DeepSeek Coder. But in majority of the other categories, DeepSeek Coder outperforms it. And it's just great to see that another open source model is able to outperform Llama 2 in various categories. Now, it's quite proficient in coding and mathematics. It's also quite good in other languages such as Chinese. And it's just great to see that we're able to see a model like this that's not backed by a really big institution doing quite well in the open source field. Now, guys, I already made a really detailed video on DeepSeek Coder that talks a little bit more on the research that was used to develop the model. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But in this case, I'm going to be now showcasing how you can get started with this new DeepSeek Coder model. Firstly, you want to go to Hugging Face and go to this new Instruct version 1.5 model card. Now, I'll leave all the links that I used in today's video in the description below. But once you have the model card ready, you need to make sure that you have LM Studio. This is an easy way for you to run any open source large language model locally. So if you do not have this application, I truly recommend you watch this video, which showcases how you can install it fairly easily. But once you have LM Studio opened up, you can then go back onto the Hugging Face model card. You want to copy this model card over here, go back onto LM Studio. Once you are over here, you can then paste this model card into the search tab and then click enter. Now, if you do not see it, you can then click on compatibility and you'll be able to see this new model. Now, you can then download it afterwards. Now, at this moment, you're not going to be able to see a lot of models, especially for this new Instruct model, because it's something that has just recently released, like around yesterday or I believe 2 days ago, and many developers are working to deploy it onto Elm Studio or onto Hugging Face actually. So just wait a couple more days and you'll be able to access this model fairly easily. In this case, if you do find the GGUF model for this DeepSeek 7 billion Instruct model, you can simply click on it, click the download button over here. Once it finally downloads, go to the conversation tab, select the model to load, select that model, and then you can start chatting with it in this LM Studio interface. And it's easy as that as to how you can install this new model. Now, one thing I forgot to mention with this new model is that they are employing a window size of 4K and the next token prediction objective. And it's also fine-tuned on 2 billion tokens of instruction data. This basically makes it more refined so that it can process better coding tasks, and it's going to be able to give you better generation with longer context. It's great to see that they are continuously working on this, and you can potentially even try it out on the DeepSeek Alpha, which is their website to access the DeepSeek Coder model on the actual web. So you can just simply register with a Google account or with your email. You can click on the DeepSeek Coder tab and you can start chatting with it to see how it works. So in this case, you can ask it various different things. So in this case, I'm going to ask it, write me the Python code for a simple web UI for my ecom store that is selling dog toys. Now, I'm going to create this web UI with HTML as well as with Python, and it will basically generate the code within a couple of minutes. And you can see that it's super simple to get the code with DeepSeek Coder. Now, I'm not going to be testing it out fully, but I'm just trying to show you a demo as to what you can do. Now, on their blog post, they also have a lot of different demos as to how you're able to generate various different things with this new Instruct model. And it also shows different types of comparison. We can see over here, it's showing the comparison as to how you can write a snake game using Pygame. And sorry, it's not comparing it, but you can see that it's able to create it and you're able to actually work alongside with it to even improve the code. And it just goes a little bit more in detail to showcase the different types of training metrics, comparisons, and such forth. So if you're interested in this, I'll leave a link to this blog post, which you can get more details for this new model. Now, in regards to the new tech report, they basically refined their research paper, which talks a little bit more on the comparisons to other large language model. This is what you saw in that blog post on Twitter, and it's the table that is showcasing the summary of cleaned training data for the selected programming languages. And you can see that this is the additional data that they infused for the training, and this is showcasing how they are training on various different types of training or programming languages. And if you keep on going, it shows more comparisons to other large language models. And this is just basically a new refined tech report, which is showcasing the true capability of DeepSeek Coder. It's showcasing you how they basically constructed it, what they're planning on doing, and such forth. So if you're interested in this, I'll also leave this link in the description below. And that is basically on this new video, which is talking a little bit more about the DeepSeek Coder Instruct version 1.5 model. If you would like to access this, you should definitely take a look at the model card link in the description below. But with that thought, guys, make sure you follow us on Twitter if you guys haven't already. Follow us on the Patreon page if you want to access our private Discord. And I truly recommend that you subscribe. If you guys haven't already, make sure you check out our previous videos as well as liking it, so that it would definitely help the algorithm. But with that thought, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Have an amazing day, spread positivity, and I'll see you guys fairly shortly. Peace out, fellas.